Hello, how you doing? My name is Anthony Gray. Welcome to another edition of Grayscale. I think I'm going to do a little vase with some flowers today. Hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see how well this turns out. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a little preliminary sketch here. I'll do it in white because whatever color I choose to do the vase in will overshadow the white. Okay, we put a little lip there. Nothing really precise. It will probably be pretty much the kind of outline shape of a vase. I'll try to keep it as even as I can. Like I say, it's pretty much an outline of the vase, and then we'll work with that. Okay, something like so. And remember, when you're doing a vase or whatever, there's a light side and then there's the dark side. Okay, and there's always a shadow on the bottom of the vase, whether you put it on a table or whatnot. All right. I believe that this is a 16 by 20 flatboard canvas. I did an acrylic pour months ago, and I never knew really what to do with it. The border I put on yesterday, it's just 2-inch tape, an X-Acto knife, a yardstick, and I measured it a 1/2 inch in with a 1/2 inch border and just cut it accordingly. As you can see here on the corner, the stripes kind of cross each other to the edge. You're not able to see it here or here, but it's the same thing all the way around. It just kind of brings the picture in a little bit. That's about it. Okay. All right. I'm going to I guess I'll use some of the newer brushes I got. This is a 1/2 inch here, flat brush. Okay. I'll wet the bristles a wee bit here. This brush has kind of a give to it. It's a long brush, long bristle, so it got kind of a nice fold to it. Okay, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put some stems in. I'm going to mix a little on my palette. So far I have yellow ochre, sap green, titanium white, and phthalo blue. Phthalo blue, as you know, is a very strong color. I'm not going to put any medium on this. I'm going to keep the paint. I use Grumbacher paint. I'm going to keep the paint pretty thick. Okay, I'll put some stems in here. Just like so. I'll throw some stems any which way in here. Okay. And remember, this is going to be like in a glass of water or whatnot. I'll thicken up the stems, have them at certain lengths and what have you. A little thicker at the end here and there. Have them bunched together in different directions. Maybe a nice thick one over here, like that. I'm gonna get it a little darker. I want the stems to be a little on the darkish side. So I'll just go over them again. I don't want them too bright. I'm just going over what I previously laid down. That's all. Like I said, this type of brush got a little bend to it, which is cool. And maybe I'll put some little to give the impression of some thorns on here, like so. Now the key to this looking submerged in water will be how you represent the color in the water. Okay, and as far as the outlining of the bowl the vase goes, You can do it with, cleverly, you can do it with shading in the inside, a little shading on the outside, and it will give the shape for you without using a black outline. We're trying to avoid doing that. Okay. And I can take some of this blue, I can darken up some of this. Now this is acrylic paint. It has no medium in it to extend the drying time, so it dries pretty quickly. Okay. But just like so. Okay. When it comes to doing the vase, the outside lip of the vase and whatnot, though these stems will be covered, and like I say, it'll push these stems back and give the illusion of being inside of glass. All right. So it's not as daunting as it may appear. With simple techniques and procedures you go through to give that illusion. Okay. So with me saying all of that, I guess we can play around with a little bit of the outlining of the vase here. Now what I am going to do, if I can see what colors I can use here. I do have the blue. I want to get a grayish color, so I'm going to use some of this dioxazine purple instead of just using black and white for the gray, which you can do that too, nothing wrong with that. I'm going to use the two opposites of the spectrum, which is purple and yellow. Now I got yellow ochre, it has a little brown in it, but that's okay, we will manage. A little purple, a little bit of yellow, it will make a gray. Actually it's turning a grayish brown, so I'll eke in just a tiny tip of the brush of white, and that'll grade a little bit. There we go. Even though you're not able to see it, I am telling you the colors to use, and you'll see the results here on the board here. I might have to lighten it up a little bit more. I always put a little tester out first. Now I would have preferred a mixing white. It won't be so opaque, but we're gonna work with all of that right now. Okay, that was a little too brown for me. That's a little bit better. And I'm gonna go right here to the outside of this guy right in here, and we're gonna fade that right in there. I can take my finger and I can fade some of that color. Just like so. Bring it right around, fade it right in, just like so. Now you got the strength of the color on the edge. Get rid of some of that white, and you can see some of the background color showing through the color I'm putting on here. That's grayish, and that's fine. It will all give the illusion of your vase. I'm gonna go a little bit stronger here on the top. All right, this is the lip of the vase here, all up around here. Cover that white red up, go on around with it, just like that. And what I'm going to do, now that I covered most of it, like so, I'm going to go a little dark. I still got some of that darker gray. And right here on the bottom, if you guys can see that, maybe I'll push it in a little bit. Let me bring the camera in a little. Bring it toward the side here. Maybe you guys can see that a little bit better. Right here on the bottom. The idea in theory is good, but of course it didn't take. But that's okay. I'm adding a little bit of blue. A little bit of blue. all I need really is a shadow. Something like that. Now I would like it a little darker and not as blue, but we'll work with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that in with the color, fade that in a little bit. Not such a hard edge is what I'm trying to say. Soften the edge a little bit, just like that. I'm going to go back into my yellow and a little bit back into my purple. Gives this deepish brown type of color, brownish gray. No white, just the purple and the yellow. Put it right on top of this, which darkens the color, brings it back towards the color that I'm using. And we'll fade that in. No hard edges. Just like so. Alright. While it's doing that, we can go over here to the other side. And I'm going to give a nice cute little outline here. It's the dark side, right up in here. I'm going over some of the leaves in there. Oh, you can't see that. Let's aim that downward. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to totally. There we go. See this? And get rid of some of that hard edge. But this is the darker side. Put it here on the bottom. Make some of that white disappear. Okay. Just like that. And you see some of it right in through here, which is fine. We darken it up. Even in here. It's really up to you. Just give the impression of, this is the dark edge here. That gives the impression of, you can kind of see it already. Okay. We're going to soften up that edge. Don't really want a hard edge. You want a hard edge toward the outside of the edge of the glass, but you don't want a hard edge in the inside. So I'm just taking nothing but water, and I'm just soften up that edge a little bit. Just like that. Just like so. Nice, sharp, hard edge right in there. Just like that. Now we'll have a little fun. We'll take some, we'll take a little bit of white, the smallest amount of white. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of green. There's a reason why. I'm using a lot of white and a lot of green. More white than green. I just want a tint of green. That's what it's meant by tint, by the way. And we're going to put some right on across in here like that. And you'll wipe some of that away. As you can see, it's more green than anything else, so we're going to use a little more white. Just like that. And we'll get rid of some of that edge in there. Make some of that disappear. Keep the intensity in the middle, but you can get rid of some of that around the edge there. Let's put some right up around in here. Let's get a little more titanium white. Nice bright spot right in there. Just like that. And bring it downward. Maintain the shape of the bowl. Just like that. Like I say, acrylic paint dries relatively fast. We're going to bring some of that right on across. Just like so. Okay. I'm going to play around with that lip over there too. But just maybe up around in here. I'm going to fade that a little bit, just on that top. You won't need really too much. I'm turning the brush around a little bit. Just like that. Now let's pull the camera back a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you see, it kind of sells that. Okay. And like I said, you don't really want a hard edge. I'm just rinsing off the brush. And just with a lightly wet brush, you can kill some of that edge a little bit. Very easy to do with a slightly wet brush. Because you're mixing the water with the paint, you can have it travel. And when it dries, the residue will look like a little bit of like frosted glass. So it's more water mixed in with paint. As it dries, the residue will stick to wherever you laid it at, and it sells that illusion of, get rid of some of that there, just like that. Okay. Let's soften some of that too on the edge here. Let's soften that red up. There we go. All right. This brush isn't really too bad. Let's get some. I'm kind of glad that it's going the way it's going because I can see what colors that I do need to mix to get a nice dark. And so I'm going to mix some of my phthalo. I'm going to use a shorter brush. Has a little more control. So I'll put this brush back. Go to one of my little standbys. I just found one. I'm going to moisten the brush. This brush is a 3/4 inch brush. Moisten the brush, wipe it off on my rag. No medium. I'm not going to use any medium. Right now we're gonna start to frame out this vase. I'm just using red. It's Cad red with phthalo blue. I tend not to use black. Not saying you don't, you can never use it, but I just tend not to really use it. I'm going to add some just a little bit of shadow play here and there, and sell the bottom of this guy here, like he's definitely on something flat. And I'm going to play around with, like, make pretend leaf shapes. You can flatten that out and make some kind of shapes of leaves or what have you. We're going to even cover up some of that bowl here. Have it pretty thin. Keep the shape of the bowl, and like I say, you can play around with little shapes if you want. And that's all I'm doing right now. Just little shapes here and there. And we're gonna put little highlights here and there down here on the bottom. But this darkness helps with, let's add a little touch of white on the corner. It helps sell some of the, something like that. And we'll almost add like a little wave like action down here. Maybe a little bit here. Just a wiggle, and let some of it go. Wiggle. Just like that. And I'm going to soften some of that down on the bottom too. I'm just getting a little white, just a little bit on the corner. And we'll lighten up some of that. You don't have to be so precise. And maybe if you would like, you can Maybe put a little semblance of something hanging around out there. Maybe even out here. Doesn't have to be totally exact. Just something a little interesting that back there. Something like that. And maybe we'll strengthen a little bit of that white in there, like that. And maybe have something coming around here, like so. We have fade some of that out here like this. I'm rinsing off the brush. Some of that color out of there. And just with the wet brush, I'm coming around the edge. I'm just fade some of that. See, just fade it right out. Slight fade, just sometimes a tap would do, soften it a little bit. But I don't want my edges as hard, so I'm just tapping. See, it brings that color back. Softens it up a little bit. I'm wiping off the brush, still pretty wet. And I'm just tapping, it softens the edges. Brings it into a little bit into that background back there. And not everything has to be in focus, basically. So these guys in the back do not have to be in focus. I'm gonna soften some of these too. All it takes is a pat. Just to soften the edges a little. Wiping off my brush. Brush is still fairly wet, so I can move the paint around a little bit. I'm just softening up misting up the edges a little. Just like that. I'm taking off some color. Also, let me mention that when I made the acrylic pour, obviously I put varnish on it. All right. So that also helps, believe it or not, helps the paint flow along, even without the medium. So basically, I'm just softening up that background up there a little bit. All right. Okay. I'm gonna try to find me a decent 1/2" brush here. Then we'll start playing around with some leaves in there and whatnot. Now, if this is a little too far away, I'll bring it in. That should be good enough. Forgive a little bit of that glare here on that side. I have the windows open, so it's pretty much natural light. We're gonna put a little sap green in here, a little sap green. I want to keep the appearance of the leaves a little bit still in the background, just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the appearance of a few in here. Maybe, well, let's try these. Let's try the wiggle leaves. Yeah, the wiggle leaves are cool. We'll put a few wiggle leaves in here. Sap green version. We'll put some around in here. Yep, that'll work. Have some, getting a little more sap green. And we'll put some up in here like so. Just take it, wiggle, come back up, make a little tip. Like that. Just like that. Let's bring it up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'll keep them in the dark. I'll keep them natural color. They're still in the background. They'll show a little more than the fellows in the back. I'm gonna keep some trailing upward here. Make sure you have a little peak there. I know I'm about to go off the camera here. Use the camera angle. A little more sap green. And we'll put a few down in here. It's a little dark. Kind of what I want. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work, because we're going to obviously have bigger leaves and whatnot all up above. So kind of think that out, think it through, plan it out a little bit. All right. I'm going to go to a little bit of white, dip into the sap green, so it'll be half sap green, half white. Like that. And we'll just play a little bit with the appearance of a couple of these guys floating around here somewhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just guys, just floating around in the back there. I'm gonna add the smallest bit of water just to loosen up the paint. Get a little more sap green, a slight touch of white. So it's almost like a one stroke deal. Okay, we'll slap another one, maybe right around here. Have these guys a little close by, something like that. And we'll just, something like that. Like I say, nothing totally perfect. Don't have to be. Something like that. And we'll plop a little line here if I can get away with it. Something like that. I don't like necessarily working like in even numbers, so we'll put another one. We'll put another one right in here. It's a short guy. Just like that. Okay. Don't even necessarily have to even finish that off if I don't want to. Let's switch this around here. Just like that. See, you really don't need too much. See, you got stuff happening in the back. You got the little leaves here. Little bits of action here and there. Okay, we're gonna dip in some more sap green. Tiny bit of white right on the tip. So the brush kind of looks like this. Okay. The smallest bit of water, just barely touching the water. Because all I want is to loosen the paint a little. That's all. And since we have water mixing in with the paint, it'll make it a little translucent. We're gonna go right over that lip. All right. And we're gonna go perpendicular and go right towards the back of the plant there. So we got one hanging around right there. You can see a little bit of the lip there. Okay. Lip of the vase. Maybe we'll have something. We'll have one maybe right here, just hanging around right down here, down below here. Why not? Let me get a little bit of water. I can feel it pulling just a little bit. Still keep it fairly dark. Just like that. And maybe not so much on this one here. Like that. Just hanging around down there. I might want it a little bit darker, so I'm gonna use a little phthalo blue, and we'll sharpen him up or darken him up a little bit. I'll go on reverse end there. Put a little edge to him right there, just to deepen him up a little bit. Maybe this guy too. I can deepen him up a little also. That's a lot better. We'll darken him a little bit. Just like that. Now if I choose to highlight just a little bit, it will just be the slightest touch. Something like that. Not really too much. All right. Now down here on the bottom, I can put a little bit of Little blue, little red, mix it in together. I want to deepen that bottom part of the bowl a little bit. Just a little bit, just deepen it. Maybe up a little bit in here. Just deepen up little pockets a little more. I can shadow some of that up in there like this. And even with this darkened, watch. Take a little bit of water, I'll clean off my brush, not totally dry off the brush, okay? And we'll wisp some of that, soften those edges on this. Just soften the edges a little bit, back and forth action, soften those up. See that? You can bring it down a little bit if you would like. Just soften the edges. And we're gonna kill some of that brightness of that white with a little bit of blue. Just like that. If you would like, if you're so inclined, add a little bit of that dark on the bottom of the bowl. A little reflected light right up in there like that. A slight touch of the blue, and we'll get it a little heavier there. Just like that. And I'm gonna take some water. Remember, I don't really want a hard edge. And we're gonna soften that right up here up the top. See, soften it, blend it right in through. Right through here, soften that right up. Soften it up, travel it a little bit. I'll bring some of that up higher a little bit. Right into the leaves itself. Right up in there like that. Remember the general shape of the bowl. Okay. There. Like so. As I'm looking at it, I'm going with some titanium white right on the edge. Maybe a sharp one right in there. And maybe a little bit right in here. Really bright spot, you know. Let's get a nice little dot. Put that dot right in there. Right in there. Just like that. Okay. You can always sharpen it as much as you want. Blur it right in there. Like so. A little dry brushing. Just like that. Mix it right into that darker brown in there. Just like that. See, you just keep messing with it. I'm just a sucker for soft edges, really, when it comes to glass and whatnot. Okay. Now that we got, you know, most of that done, and we still got the swirls and stuff, you're not really destroying the background back there. Okay, we'll draw back out a little bit. You can check it out. All right, we'll bring the camera up a little. Like so. Okay, we'll raise it up a little bit. We're done messing with the bottom. As you see, it's pretty much surrounded by a nice plethora of dark around the bowl. You still got some of the color in the background, but you got the shape of the vase here. All right, not the most perfect shape because of the leaves and what have you, but that's okay. I'm gonna dip my brush into a little bit of water. I'm going back into the green. I'm gonna dip it into the blue. So I got a little blue, a little bit of green together. Sap green, phthalo blue. Just a slight tinge of red, just to deepen it up a little bit. And we're gonna get some long stem leaves going around here. So we'll raise this up a little bit. We're not doing anything with the back. And maybe we'll zoom it in a little so you guys can check this out, okay? Maybe that'll help you out. And we're gonna have a few coming here, thin, go out thick, press down, and you're gonna go thin again. Have it trail off a little bit, just like so. I'm getting a little more blue, a little more green. Technically, I would use some medium with this, or you can just use a little bit of water. Really up to you. Let's have another one coming from that same stem. Come in, have him come out, wiggle him a little bit, give him a little variety, have him go straight down. Like that. Okay. A little more blue, a little more green. I'm just mixing them in there together. Slight touch of water. That's a little bit of water on the corner of the brush. It just helps the paint to move around a little bit. I'm using thick body paint. Let's go in the opposite. Let's have him here, thick, and we'll have him come that way like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do the ones on the other side a little on the reddish side. This one will be a little deeper. So I'm adding in a little of the Cad red into what I have already. And we'll have one coming from here. We'll have him wiggle a little bit and just wiggle in the other direction here. He's a little darker on that side. And we'll have one here. We'll have him wiggle. Nice thick wiggle there. And have him come up like that. Now that's an interesting shape. That's something you would love to keep. Okay. Now that actually would be fine. These guys are in the back. Don't even know if they're gonna all be seen really because of the flowers I'm gonna put in front of them. But it doesn't look too bad. Looks all right. If I want, and apparently I'm gonna do it, I gotta have something come maybe out here, thicken it, press down, thick, and make them thin, come right on across in front of these guys, like that. Just like that. Okay. If he's not coming out as smooth, now you can always correct that. Just like so. If you're inclined, you want a little highlight somewhere on this guy, that's okay. Add some highlight. Add a highlight for him. Just like that. And you can always go back over it again. Kind of mellow out that highlight a little bit. Nice and smooth. And if you want to put a little center for him, do one of those if you would like. All up to you. If you want to add that. And if it's too dark, you just like that. Okay, I think we've did a few of those, which is cool. Trying to see if I want to add anything else in here while I got some of this green going. Not necessarily, not really. And that's just for example purposes or whatnot. I really don't want to add too much of anything really. Maybe one of these guys. Something like that. Maybe. And maybe a little wiggle here. A little wiggle here. A little wiggle here. Just something to play around with. I'm gonna get a little bit of this yellow and we'll put a quick little highlight on some of these guys. Something like that. Maybe we'll add a little bit of that on some of these guys here. Something like that. something like that. Put a little tip on that guy. Maybe add one going in the opposite direction there, like that. We'll have him come down here like this. We'll spin another one off here, something like that. Might as well. Something like that. Up there. Get a little yellow. Got a little red in there, but that's okay. We'll put it right up in here like that. Just a little extra color. Why not? Something like so. We can darken up the other one just a little bit. Something like so. And that's about it for all of that up there. Okay, let's bring this back a little bit. You see what it looks like so far. We didn't spend a terribly long amount of time on this, but there you go. Now obviously a lot of the colors and swirls are being bleached out because of the sunlight. I'm just cleaning off the brush real good here. We're going to go to some stylized roses or whatnot. All right. Okay. Don't know what color I'm going to use for them. I kind of, well, we'll see. I might want to use a little bit of blue maybe, because we've got a lot of reddish and pink going on around here. All right, and we got this opposite color surrounding inside of all this background back there. Everything's still framed in. I have nothing going past the edge here. Okay, so everything's pretty still self-contained. Okay. I really don't want to put, I mean, it would match if I did it with red. Blue would actually set it back a little bit more. I think that would make it a little attractive. Maybe. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. So I'm dipping into my phthalo blue here. I should lighten it actually. So let's lighten up that phthalo blue a bit. So I'm dipping into titanium white, into my phthalo blue. And we'll put one of them guys, right around in here. Something like that. Right past that lip a little bit. Let's make him a little larger too. Something like that. Spread him out a little bit. Okay. Let's bring this a little closer for you guys actually. And then we're gonna come in this way. Okay, let's get a little of that dark blue. And we're gonna come around in here like that. And we're gonna fade some of that color out right there. Just like so. Come in a circular motion here. And we'll fade it out here. Okay. Spread them out. Maybe I don't know yet, but we'll play around with this one here like that. We'll see what happens. Something like that. Maybe a little darker there. A little deeper blue. But definitely soften up that part going on the outside there. And we'll deepen up this fella too. Like that. So we'll try for something like that for this one. for that guy. Okay. Maybe we'll have an even deeper one. I'm going nothing but straight phthalo blue, and we'll put a deeper one right up in here, like this, a nice deeper fella. We'll see what happens. Put them up around in here like that. We'll place them around here. This one here is a little woolly, a little wild. That guy. Not the typical circle shape. We can get some different leaves for this one. We'll see what happens. But he's definitely darker, obviously, than this fellow. We're gonna get a little bit of red, because even though he's that dark, he still needs a center up in there. So you got a really reddish violet center for this guy, all up in there. So we'll see what we'll do with him, and we'll put some of that down in here. Some nice shadow work here. So the bowl you can see clearly outlined right in there for that guy. So we'll see what's going on with this fella soon. We're gonna work on this guy next. Now I'll probably use a smaller brush, because everything's in relation to the size of the brush you use. Okay, so I'm gonna need this is probably a 3/4 inch brush. If you guys can see it, you can't see it there. 3/4 inch brush. I'm gonna need something a little slimmer than that. So I'm looking through here, see if I got something else that can help me out here. I don't know if this one might work. We can try it out. Definitely a 1/2 inch, but it's a synthetic brush. It's actually like a Crayola crayon brush, but the striations in it may actually help out, and it got a nice spring to it also. I'm getting a little bit of water to thin up this paint just a little bit. Titanium, or not titanium, but straight phthalo blue. Okay, and we're gonna just I guess we'll do a basic thing on this side. I'm gonna go out, and we're gonna press and disappear, go right in there, just like that. And we're gonna come on the other side, flip around, just like that. So basically, that's the outside of the flower there. Series of strokes. Okay. Just like so. Everything will make a lot more sense in the highlighting. So we got that for the top. I'm deciding on how I'm going to work that. I'm getting some titanium white just on the tip of the brush here. Just on the tip here. And we're gonna brighten up the other half first. A little press. Just like that. Okay. And we're gonna come on the other side. Everything's going towards that dot right there. So aim everything towards the dot, like so. There, just like that. Instant bowl. And I can soften up some of that going into the bowl there. Soften a little with, I'm using a mop brush. I just want to soften all of that up in there. Okay. I kind of like the way that's going so far. We're going to go back into my little phthalo blue here. Might have to get some more phthalo blue. Looks like I'm running kind of low. Okay, we're going to get some another batch of petals in there. make the circle a little tighter. Everything still is going towards that center. And I probably can push and get a tight little circle rim of color right in there. Get a little bit of white. I'm just going to accentuate what I just done. I'm wiping some of that on my get a little push, a little stronger push, stronger push, stronger push, just like that. Now you got 3 rows of those guys in there. We're going to, well, I'll show you. We're going to cup it a nice little tight cup. Thin, thick, thin. We're going to do the same thing around here. Thin, go thick, and thin. I turned it around there. And we're going to make a very tight circle here. So I'm getting some more titanium white. I'm going to pat it down and really concentrate. Now the horizon or the vanishing point will be down here on each side. You'll see with the strokes. We're going to aim it, everything toward the circle. Just like so. We'll soften some of that bowl up in there. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to press and, well, we're going to give it a little push. Not enough white. We'll give it a little push. Put it in there, a little push, put it in there, a little push, and we're gonna smoothen some of that out, like that. And we can smooth some of that, gently smooth some of that out there. And basically I want a nice hard edge in there, just like that. And we can play around, give it a little push, play around with some of these guys on the outside, give it a push, it's like that. Get some more of this deep blue. I'm gonna have to get another tube of dark blue. And we're gonna come in here a little bit. And we're gonna, some of it comes into a point, and you can always play around with that point also. And we'll bring some in here like that. So hold on for 1 second. Got to get some more of this deep blue, because I want that blue in the center where they disappear at a little bit to really be dark. It sells right up in here, get it a little dark, and go in the opposite direction, kind of fan it out a little bit. Keep it a little dark there. Let's play around a little bit of white. Not too much. And just accentuate a few of them. Just like that. That makes it a little more interesting for your petals. I can bring some in the inside, darken up some, lighten up some others. Okay. Let's get a little push, a little stronger lip right here. And we can fade some of those in there later. I just want a strong edge right around in there. And maybe a stronger lip here. Something like that. I can add other rolls if I wanted to. Cup them around like that. You can just play around. I'm just rinsing off this brush. One that had a lot of paint on it. Okay. That don't seem too bad. Let's get a round brush if I can find one. I'm going to go into this yellow and a little bit of white, brighten it up a little bit. Stomp it right into the bristles a little bit. Add a nice little center to this fella. A couple of touches like this. Turn the brush around, got a little more paint on one side, just like so. Just add a little more titanium white to that yellow, and we'll give a nice little high spot somewhere. Like so. That color will deepen into the darken, so it won't be so blatant. And I'm taking the paint off the brush, clean the brush, and I can just soften some of that. Just a little bit. Won't need to soften it too much. There. Let's work on this guy over here. Put my one brush back. Okay, I just threw that one brush in the garbage. It had its day. I am searching for my other brush. This one's too tall for all of that. Let's put that one back over here. Of course, I do have a brush that I like a lot, and I can't find it. Okay, we'll work with this guy. All right. Very dark blue. Let's shift it over here. And I guess we're going to play with that. I'm going to add just a slight touch of titanium white to the blue I have. Still keep it fairly dark, but lighter than what I previously put down. Okay, just a slight bit of water to loosen up the paint a little bit, not much. And we're gonna go, if you're gonna see it, I'll put a touch there. There. We're gonna aim those guys this way. So we're gonna press, and we're gonna make it disappear right into that dark, just like you see here. Key to it is to overlap them a little bit. I'm gonna have this one in various directions, and we're gonna come around like so, and we have one come on here and go. We're gonna have them slant right inside. Very, very unusual petal formation for this fellow. I'm gonna highlight those quick, fast, in a hurry. Press and just don't go in as much. Some will be accentuated a little more than others. Okay. There we go. And we're gonna just keep playing around with it, just like that. Okay, we'll take a little break here, be right back. All right guys, we're back. Okay, we're gonna do something with this wild and woolly flower we got going on here. I'm going to, using phthalo blue, continue some of this wild leaf pattern we got happening over here. Okay, as you can see, we got this crazy edge going on over here. Okay, I like this one. Hold on. kind of like that one there. And I kind of like that one flopping around there. Little different colors. It's pretty cool looking. Okay, I think I'm going to cup this one here. We're gonna go around like so, and we're gonna bring him around, and we're gonna have him swim out in the other direction. You get used to seeing things like this happen as you do them more and more. Okay. I kind of want to swoop it around, maybe change that one to swoop it around, come on down a little bit like that. Have him come up in front. Now, I don't want too sharp of an edge. Okay, down here on the bottom, so just a little water, and I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit. Just soften that edge, kind of blend it into that dark back there. Just like that. So we just soften that edge a wee bit. Get back into my little blue and white mix. Excuse me. And we're gonna press, and we're gonna add some variety down in here a little bit, just like that. Not too many variances in there. It's kind of in shadow. Okay. Touching the very tip in white, just like that. And maybe a little press and go in. A little push of some color going on in there, like so. We'll put just a little tip of white, and we're going to give it a slight push in there like that. A slight push. It's the striations that I'm looking for, and we'll put one in there like that. And we're going to soften some of those stripes in there. Just pat some, soften those up a little bit if I can. And I'm still thinking I need something else in there. We'll just go thin, give the impression of a couple of them coming right at us there, just like that. And with the brush really thin, just a couple of pushes. We'll stroke a couple of those in there like that. Just like that. We'll highlight a little bit of that. Slight bit. Just the edge. All it needs is a little bit of the edge. Very impressionistic. Just like so. Okay. Alrighty. See if I can get some dark blue, if I can find a little bit of it somewhere. And we're gonna bring some of that dark blue in there. Little bit of depth. Maybe if I can get away with a little bit of purple in there. There we go. See, I just need some darkness in there to kind of bring that out a little bit. Just like that. Okay. You need dark to show the light. Follow me? Purple obviously is very related to the blue. And so I'll fade some of that in there. Okay, I'll use my finger, soften up those edges a little bit. So I bring some of that out. All right. You can pretty much do that anywhere. A little dark. Use your finger, fade some of that out of there. Put it in other spots. Have fun with it. Just like that. There. Get it off my fingers. Okay. We're going to draw back a little bit because you know these guys do have petals, leaves rather. So we're going to draw back a little bit. Let's draw back a little bit. Kind of make my choices, be a little careful with the choices here of where I want to plant this guy. Okay, we'll plant one here. Something like that. And we'll plant another one. Get me some more little water here. Go back into my purple. Go back into a little bit of green. And get some blue in this mix. I guess we'll plant one. I don't want to get rid of the shape of the bowl. What I'm trying to say, because I like the bowl shape there. So we'll put one here. Okay. I guess we'll plop one right down there like that. I don't want to lose the nuance of the bowl, considering that is our subject, bowl. There. We'll get that plant right in there. Got plenty of water. I could stick around with just that 3. But I'm thinking, I think I could get away with just that 3 because we have a lot of other stuff happening here. So maybe we'll just leave it with the 3 plants here. I'm still a stickler for odd numbers. Okay, adding a little white with a little bit of blue. Tinge of green in the blue. We'll highlight this guy. Okay. We'll go with a little highlighting. Just like that. Nothing too special. Adding a little more titanium white. Not much medium on the brush, so we'll soften some of that. Like so. I can even strengthen a little bit of the highlight, like so. Going back into the white grayish color, and we'll highlight a little longer here, something like so. I think we're good with that. We're going to get some shading going here. We're almost at the end, very close, very close. Use a little bit of the purple since I didn't use it before. And we're gonna shade some of this guy to bring him further in. just like that. If I have a little too much on, I can always use my finger and blur it. I think you guys can see that. I like that. Okay, a little bit more purple. Then we're gonna go on the other side here. We're gonna put him deep in shadow, like that. And we continue the strokes, just like that. Step back, take a look at what you're doing. I'll put him in shadow back here and brings that petal out a little bit. Just like that. Nice shadow color. And since I'm liking that, almost a dry brush, just bring some of those in the back there and soften up some of those edges here. Brings it into the back a little bit. Now I'm gonna make a quick glaze. Got the purple on the brush. And I'm gonna just put a little dark back there. Now it's got water on it, so when it evaporates, you'll still see the purple tint, but you'll still see the colors beyond that. It's just to put this guy in the back there. That's all. No more or less. That's that fella way up there. Whoops. That guy way up there. Okay. One more thing to do. Two more things. See, I don't want to add too much more to it because it's already, the background is already swirling and pretty busy. But we got two more things to do. Let's go back to my, there it is. This is the one I was really looking for. Been in front of my face all that time. Okay, back into the yellow. I gotta find the spot somewhere. I guess this spot is due. And here we go. Yeah, you guys can see that. Add some little life in here. Don't get rid of all the brushwork in the back. Just like that. We're gonna get a little titanium white. Gonna mix that in there. Put it right into the bristles. Don't need too much of it. Remember where your light source is. Just like that. Just like so. Okay. Remember when I told you the color sets in? See, so it's not as garish. All right. Okay. Just rinsing off the brush here. I'm just gonna give a quick outline to a little bit of the, I don't know if you would call it fabric or whatnot. It brings it out front, in front of the other fellas. And I'm smoothing off that edge a little bit. There. Just like that. And just get rid of that bottom edge a little. Because basically all I want is an outline, thin outline. It brings it in front. Of course you guys couldn't see that. It's that stuff down there. These guys. And still keep it pretty soft. Just like so. And I think we're pretty much a done deal here. I would like to thank you for spending time with me, getting this done. Looking for my script liner brush, and a brush so thin, meshed in with all the other brushes, not a wise choice. I can actually put some of these guys away. So I can find that little fella. Don't think I can find it. It's here, but I think it's buried in that little nook or cranny somewhere. I think I got another one lingering around here somewhere. Of course, this is exactly where I cannot find the thing. But I know it's around here. Oh, there you are. I knew you were buried. There you go. Come back, Papa. Thank you for watching this. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions, let me know. Answer them as soon as I can. Okay, I'll slap my signature down here on the bottom. I guess you guys can. Everybody has a certain place to put their signature, of course. Technically, usually, I usually put mine on the lower left hand. Like I say, everybody has their own way of doing it. It's not a set rule, really. And there we go. Any questions or any concerns? I changed my name to Grayscale Painter. So I have to, you should see it down there. The name's been changed. So, but there you have it. All right, let's put that brush away where I can find it. Let's zoom it out here so you guys can check it out here. Like I say, forgive the glare. Let's raise that up. And, quite frankly, there you have. All right. Okay. And let's go way back. Position myself here. And, well, hey, here I am. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for checking it out. Me doing this one. It was fun. I don't do too many. Of these vases or whatnot. Not terribly difficult to do. You can do them in any style you want. You can make a clear one, a colored one. The techniques are pretty much the same. You just need a light source, a shadow source. Make sure your vase has got a bottom to where it sets at. No matter if you got an abstract background or a plain background or I don't know, some window panes back there or something. Give something where your bowl can set at. All right. Every bowl, no matter what color and what shape, has a shadow. All right. It has somewhere it needs to set on. If it's got cloth on it like this one or what have you. Okay. As you see this on the page, you'll see all the details and whatnot and how busy that background is back there. But you still have something dark and solid to ground the floral and the frame borders all of that. Okay, enough of the lesson. Enjoy your day. Let me know what you think and I'll see you as soon as I can. All right, God bless. Take care of yourselves and bye-bye.